All right, welcome everybody. It's 5 p.m. on the West Coast for the Quantum Field Monday Zoom presentation. My name is Dr. Tony Smith. I'm a doctor of chiropractic from the Lancaster, Palmdale, California, like the high desert area. Excited to be here on Monday night to share with you something that's really blessed a lot of people in our region and is making a big impact across the country. So, like I said, I'm a doctor of chiropractic. I've been in practice for 30 years now. It's hard to believe it's been that long, but I've been in practice for 30 years. I'm in a multidiscipline facility with orthopedic surgeons, podiatry, pain management, general physicians, and then myself, I do the rehab and chiropractic in the facility. So I'm exposed to a lot of different treatment options and modalities and different things, but the X39 has blown me away. It's completely exceeded my expectations of what was possible with this particular product, or actually a device. I mean, it's realistically a medical device based on the technology and the light waves, and the light, how we're utilizing light waves. So anyway, let's see if I can. So one of the things that I am really excited about when I started digging into the product itself was the technology behind it, because it was something that I'd actually utilized for many years, but didn't realize it was the same technology, because I've actually utilized light therapy for over 15 years. I used cold lasers, class 4 lasers. I've used infrared technology, and those are all devices to accelerate healing properties within the body. So let's see here. Can we pull the screen up? So anyway, those are all different things to actually accelerate healing properties in the body. So when I started digging into the research of what this was about and how it could actually help people engage and accelerate their healing properties, I got very excited. What I could make an impact with people, and so digging into it, I started to build my confidence in it, and looking at the research and the studies behind it is one of the things that I really loved about this, is that it's based on science. It's not hearsay. It's not possibilities. It's actually research, science, and tested time and time again, and patented. And so so to be able to share with people something that is backed by science gave me that confidence to go out and share with my patients, because my credibility meant a lot to me. So before I was going to bring it into my practice and started sharing it with other doctors and physicians that I was exposed to, I wanted to make sure it was a viable product and that it was going to make that type of impact and help a lot of people. So that was, that really caught my attention. Lonnie, can we move the next slide? Let's see here. Some reason I have a little difficulty moving the slide. But anyway, so the people that are on here, have you been patched yet? That was one of the things that is, whoever invited you onto this, thank them for getting you on this, because they thought enough of you to reach out that they wanted to make an impact in your life. So that is something that's very viable to help people and to enhance people's health and well-being. One of the things that I really love about this product is it's a simple concept, because some people have a hard time grasping what the X39 is about, is because it's a simple concept of phototherapy. So if you think about it, we are exposed to phototherapy all the time. When we stand in the sunlight, our body changes that sunlight to vitamin D. That's a concept that everybody already accepts. The other concept is that when we stand in sunlight, our skin starts to turn darker, turn brown. That's our body producing melanin. That's a protection agent against ultraviolet rays. That's another photochemical reaction that we've accepted and been able to, we all experience and accept it, and we know that's happening. So the science of the X39 itself is basically based on phototherapy. And that phototherapy concept is that go back, sorry. Let's go back. Okay. So that phototherapy concept, go forward one second. Sorry, guys, we're having a little technical difficulty here. Right there, right there. Okay. So that the concept of what's happening here is with the X39 is that the David Schmidt has found the right wavelength to actually create something in our bodies called copper peptides. Now, copper peptides are not on trial. They've been researched since 1973. They've been time and time again proven to do a lot of different things within our bodies. And one of the main things in our bodies that it does, well, some of the main things I'll give you an insight to is one, it reduces inflammation. Does anybody, I'm pretty much everybody on here is exposed to inflammation. So anything that ends in itis, you know, most of us have something that ends in itis. And the root of all diseases start with an inflammatory issue. And so if we can help control inflammation in our body can do some incredible things. The other thing it does is it helps reduce pain. One of the next things that it does is that it helps produce collagen. So when collagen is the basis of ligament, tendons, and bone. So when we can increase the production of collagen in our body, we can basically enhance our structural integrity, our musculoskeletal system. And for us that are growing older in age, you know, more revolutions around the sun, we start to get that loss of bone density because about the age of 30, actually about the same time that our stem cells start to decrease, but at the age of 30, our bone breaks down faster than it's being laid down. So you start to become osteoporotic. But when you can find something that's natural through a patch like this, you can actually start to help lay down a little bit more bone density and strengthen those ligament and tendons. The other thing that the copper peptides do is that it actually activates those stem cells, stem cell activity. Now, stem cells are the basis of all tissue in the body. So every tissue, organ, function, everything in the body starts at a stem cell. That's the foundational cell. So what we're seeing with this particular product is that when the stem cells, as we age, start to decline at the age of 30, we're down to 30 for 50% production of stem cell activity. By the age of 60, we're actually at 10% stem cell activity. You start to show signs of aging. And that aging process, you start to see it in your healing properties. You start to see it in your skin, you know, the structural integrity underneath the skin. You start to show wrinkles and things. So when we can activate those copper peptides, we can build that foundational structure, that integrity to tighten that skin, to help the ligaments, tendons, and bones. The other thing with copper peptides is that it actually activates reinnervation, which is basically stimulating the nerve cells to start to regenerate to a certain extent. David Schmidt talks about this in one of his presentations. Is actually they found that they were actually able to regenerate some nerve tissue in a diabetic diabetic neuropathy. Sorry, not retinopathy, diabetic neuropathy. The other thing that copper peptides do is it creates revascularization. So when you're going to enhance healing properties, you're going to increase the blood flow to the area, which is vascularization, which is going to help bring oxygen, nutrients, vitamins, and minerals to the tissue. So that's going to enhance healing properties. One of the other cool things that I saw as I've been digging into the research and seeing is that copper peptides actually help the anti-clotting factors. It helps, you know, diminish some of the clotting issues that people can experience. And so that could be instrumental in somebody with cardiovascular issues or phlebitis and things. And that's one of the things I recently had a huge testimony that was very close to me is my own father was suffering from phlebitis from a serious car accident, had a compound fracture of his right leg. His right leg was twice the size of his left leg, and it was black and blue and purple, and it had pitting edema. And pitting edema, if you guys remember when you were kids, you used to play with Play-Doh and you squeeze the Play-Doh and it used to leave the imprints of your hands in the Play-Doh. Well, pitting edema is when you squeeze like your leg or an arm or something, and it leaves the imprints of your fingerprints in that extremity. Well, my dad was suffering from that really, really extensively. And so I finally got him to utilize the patches. Now, this is a little, word of note. We always want to impact the person closest to us, but sometimes they're the most hesitant, the most resistant. So I've been involved with the company for almost a year, or actually a year now. But it wasn't until Father's Day when I actually saw him. Had a barbecue. He came and I looked at his leg and it was black and blue and swollen and purple. And I'm like, Dad, what are you doing? You got to take care of that thing. You're going to lose it. They're going to amputate that leg. So I'm like, no offense there, but you're going to wear the patch. I don't care. You just have to wear them. And I told him how to wear them, 12 hours on, 12 hours off, put the patch on his low back. I actually had him put it on his low back. And so within 1 week, he had called me and he said, hey, one of my friends noticed that the swelling in my leg had gone down. And he also noticed that I was getting color back. And he was so excited. He goes, you know what? I started to notice that I was getting feeling back in my foot and the pain was going away. And so I'm like, that's awesome. Continue to wear, just stay with it. Just be consistent, 12 hours on, 12 hours off. And then on 4th of July, we had, 2 weeks later, on 4th of July, we had another barbecue and he came and I saw his leg and his leg had shrunk down to the size of his left leg, the black and blue. He had 2 blotches that were still a little bit black and blue, but it was actually getting normal color back into his skin, and the swelling had gone down significantly. So that was something so huge that I didn't even realize that could have the potential to do that. But seeing it in front of my eyes, it's another thing that I'm so grateful for, that I was exposed to the X39, because as a chiropractor, there's a lot of things that I wouldn't necessarily be able to help with. I use my hands. We try to stay holistic, but to make an impact in somebody's life like that is huge and significant. And so again, when getting out and sharing sharing the product with people, I see so many different benefits, and I'm ecstatic. And so what we're seeing with the growth and the stability of the company is that, understand, this company has been around for over 20 years now, or going on 20 years. And what's really cool is David Schmidt is so knowledgeable about light wave and different wavelengths, different technology, that he had other products in the past 18 years, but he was still working on the holy grail, something that would kind of bring everything together. And that's when it took him over 10 years to figure out the certain wavelength, that proper wavelength that would activate the stem cells. And in 2021, when he introduced the X39, you can see the significant growth. I mean, the company went from doing over 20 million a year annually to within 2 years doing over 280 million. And it's steadily growing. I'm sure we're going to do over 400 million annually this year. I mean, last month was the biggest gross revenue in the company, and it continues to grow because the word is getting out. And the really cool thing that I love to see about that is, about the time, not only was it when the X39 came into play, but it's actually when some networkers got a hold of the product and brought it to market. It's great. As a practitioner, we understand the science, but we're not the best networkers out there. So the thing is that the physicians the practitioners had a hold of a lot of the products, but they really didn't know how to bring it to the masses. They really didn't know until Onyx Cole, Stephen Gina Merritt got involved. And then the company went through the roof. And so just knowing that you're with the right team, you're with the right group, because we're going to impact a lot of lives with the quantum field and getting out there. And again, David Schmidt is the CEO and the inventor of the X39. This guy's a brilliant, he's a genius, and he continues to evolve and go into research and new things. But he's been a 2-time recipient of the Advanced Technology Award from International Hall of Fame. I mean, most people don't even get it once. He's already gotten it twice. He's over 130 patents. He has multiple patents even before the X39 came out, but he's done so much research and work with the different wavelengths and technology to bring this. What I'm excited about is that the X39 is everything that he's done for the past 18 years is kind of balled into one. And so we can share the X39, and it's a cumulative effect of everything that's that we can bring to the table. And another thing, all the patents, it's patented. So we basically have the monopoly on it, because this company, I've been in health and wellness, I've been in nutrition and nutraceuticals for many years. And there's so many Me Too products, there's nutrition out there, and you're always explaining why this product's better than that product. Because it absorbs better, has different ingredients. And then they go down to Walmart, they go down to Costco and they see something with the same name on it, they assume it's the same quality. But the thing is, it's just not. This is not a Me Too product. There's nothing on the market out there. There's nothing. We have the monopoly, the exclusivity to it. So you're in a perfect position to deliver the message, to bless a lot of people around the country by going out and sharing what the X39 is all about and introducing people, because you're not trying to explain, it's a skincare, it's a this and it's a that, and it's why it's different. It's not like everything out there. There's nothing like it on there. And I'm excited about that. And that's why I'm ecstatic to get out and share with people what this is all about. So I talked about stem cells. I talked about what copper peptides do, but specifically what stem cells do. Again, stem cells are the foundational cells of every organ, function, thing in the body. They started a stem cell. So what's great about this X39 is it activates what they call non-differentiated stem cells, meaning it can go to the weakest link. So it can pretty much go anywhere. A lot of times I'll share it with people and maybe they have a knee pain they want to get rid of. And the first thing is, when you have a pain, the first thing you want to do is get out of pain, right? That's the first thing, that's your main focus. But a lot of times understand there's things going on internally that you may not know about, that the X39 is going to first. You may have some cholesterol issues. You may have some cardiovascular blockage or something going on in there. Maybe some kidney function, maybe liver function. I don't know. It can go a lot of different directions, but understand that it's working behind the scenes, whether you actually feel it or not, because it's clinically proven that copper peptides do a lot of different things. They enhance the healing properties in our body. They kind of reboot our body to accelerate those healing properties. It's not the patch. It's not the X39 patch that's doing it. It's triggering a dormant system in your body to get active again. It's waking up. It's ringing the doorbell like, let's go. It's time to get up and get moving. But again, stem cells, one of the things it creates rapid pain relief. Again, when you're in pain, the first thing you want to do is get out of it. So it has the ability to do that. We talked about inflammation. I mean, the root of all disease, everything that ends in itis is an inflammatory condition. Pretty much everybody walking around is, unless you're young, is that you have some inflammatory issues. And so it can enhance or neutralize the inflammation going on in our body. It supports and accelerates wound healing. This is essential for diabetics, because one of the things in diabetics is that they don't have the ability to heal very quickly because they don't get good blood supply. They don't get good healing benefits, what they call fibroblastic activity. I don't want to get too technical, but fibroblast is the foundation of collagen production. So they don't have that type of healing properties going on. But when you start to activate the stem cells and the copper peptides, you start to accelerate those properties in your body. And then energy and vitality. Everybody wants a little pep in their step. There wouldn't be a line around Starbucks, or there wouldn't be, all these other energy drinks, making buku billions of dollars if people didn't want enhanced energy. The beauty of this is that it's not an artificial lift. It's just it just kind of brings up your body's activity level, I guess there. And then we talk about mental clarity. One of the things, when you start to reduce inflammation in the brain, things that cross that blood-brain barrier and start to create dysfunction in the nerve flow and inflammation in there, when you can reduce that inflammation, you start to get better mental clarity. And also we talk about inflammation in the brain itself, the Alzheimer's, dementia, and things that can go on when there's inflammation in the brain. But things start to get them a little clearer. You get better focus when you start to activate stem cells, throughout the body. Enhanced sports performance. A little funny story, because the person that we are business partners, Mike McCleary, and I, when I was first introduced to this, I'm an avid cyclist. In fact, I had a race yesterday. I raced road bikes. I used to race mountain bikes competitively, but I went into road bike racing. And so I'm always looking for the upper edge to get above the competition. And so I started utilizing the product, and I started seeing increases in my numbers, in my cycling numbers, recovery numbers, my power output, something they call lactate threshold levels, all these different things that I could monitor. I started seeing an enhancement with that. And so when I was first getting going, I actually was ran low on some of the stem cell patches, and I had the state championships coming up. And so I frantically, went into my sleeve, my envelope, and I saw, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's no more left. And so I frantically called Mike. I'm like, hey, do you have any more of the X39 patches? And so he was leaving. And so he actually put one out on his patio. And so I ran over there, and he writes on a Sharpie on the patch, cheater patch. And so it was kind of a little joke we have, but it has helped enhance my performance. But the one thing that I always I struggle with is that, because it does help enhance performance, do I actually want to share that with my competitors? I love sharing it with the community, but I really want to share it with my competitors, because I'm not sure I want to give them the upper edge advantage over me as well. But anyway, I'm still working on that dilemma, but it can enhance a lot of different things. Faster recovery from exercise, because it enhances the healing properties and recovery of things going on in the body. Improved skin appearance. We talked about the collagen production. When you're building that structural integrity underneath the skin, you tighten the skin up, and a lot of people spend hundreds of thousands or thousands of dollars to have products that do that, to actually go get certain procedures to do that. We have something naturally that can do that with the patch. Let's go ahead to the next slide. Let's see if I can roll it myself. Okay, so here's a topography map. This is a 77-year-old woman placed at the back of her neck. This is a topography map of the brain that's looking at inflammation. Now let's reflect back to earlier in one of the slides when we talk about at 30, there's 50% reduction in stem cell activity. By 60, there's only 10% production in stem cell activity. So at 77, there's very minimal stem cell activity going on. So which tends the reason why there's some inflammation in the brain on this topography map. So that red area around there, that's a lot of inflammation in the brain. That's the initial test. 3 weeks later, you look at session 2, that's 3 weeks into it. You can see that the red and the yellow is diminishing. The red is gone and the yellow is decreasing inside. That's the inflammation going away. Oxygenated tissue, oxygenated blood in there. And then you go to session 3 and you see the more green and everything. That's less inflammation in the brain. That's 6 weeks. Session 3 is 6 weeks into this. But you can see a significant change going on in this person. And this is something that they don't experience. They can't feel that going on. The thing is, everybody wants to feel a result, but sometimes a lot of times there's things going on that you can't actually feel, but the body is working behind the scenes. And so, I'm sure with this particular person, mental clarity is clearing up, starting to focus more, being able to, probably even motor skills improving a little bit. A lot of different things that you can start to see enhance. Let's go to the next slide. Okay. And so X39 long-term results, you can see in the first few days, 4,000 genes start to reset. Now, this is significant when you start to talk about your DNA chain, because, a lot of people on here have heard that wine is good for you. Resveratrol, that's a great thing because, it's healthy for you. You understand that resveratrol resets two genes, and that's, regarded as a great health product. X39 resets 4,000 genes. Think of how much wine you would have to be in the wine club and drink cases of wine every month to reset 4,000 genes. We're just not going to do that. We have something so much more efficient and effective in the X39. But then you go and when you wear it within 6 weeks, the brain becomes balanced. You decrease symptoms of PTSD, anxiety, depression. That's because inflammation is being reduced in the brain. Things that are crossing that blood-brain barrier, and you're starting to think more clearly. The neurological synapses are working more effectively. So that's happening, going on behind the scenes. Within 3 months, your collagen levels are increased. And we talked about that, decreased wrinkles, increased hair growth. Not only are people seeing increased hair growth, but they're seeing that their natural color is actually, the hair is growing out at their natural color, not the color that they had aged into. So that's pretty exciting. Let's understand that that's hair growth on our head. We're not turning into Chewbacca or anything like that. It's hair where hair is supposed to grow, okay? So, but it increases that hair growth. And then increased structural integrity of both your skeletal, muscular system that we had talked about already. This is significant to me. Within 6 months, heart reverses in age. If you're using it consistently over 6 months, there's studies showing that that your heart reverses in cardiovascular age by over 8 years. Now, that is huge, because I truly believe, now looking at everything that's going on and what this happened, that this particular product doesn't just add days, weeks, months, but this literally product could add years to your life. Now, when it comes down to it, really, what is your health worth? When we're talking this particular, we're going to talk about the, what the product, what it costs and anything. When you're talking about $3 a day, is your health worth $3 a day? Most of us spend more than that on other things. But when we're talking about something that's going to reverse our age, we're not just talking about stopping aging. We're talking about age reversal. That's significant. And then again, when you're talking about skeletal integrity, understand that when your skeletal system takes 7 years to replace your whole your skeletal system, to lay down new bone, it takes 7 years. So when people ask me, how long should I be on the product? Now, I used to say, at 6 months, you should see some, and maybe a year. Now 7 years to lay down a whole new skeletal system. To me, I want to lay down new bone, heavier bone density, everything. So to me, I at least got to be on the product at least 7 years, if not longer, because I want that dense bone. I don't want to worry about osteoporosis as I start to age and worry about falling and breaking a hip and all the other things that can come along with it, with those type of structural integrity issues. So again, that's just another enlightening moment for me when I started digging into how effective when you start to activate copper peptides in the stem cells. Now, what I love about our team is that it's one-stop shopping on learning learning about the product. You don't have to be a doctor. I mean, I get on here and I go a little bit more in depth than probably most people, because I like to do it. I understand it and I enjoy it. And I want to educate the people. I want to give the people something that they can grasp onto and give the confidence to go out and share it with people. But you don't have to be a doctor. You don't have to know everything about the product. You just refer people to Start X39. And this is actually the spot where I went to. Somebody referred me to this site. And, some people are great with just watching the videos, but I was the one that went in and dug into the research articles and dug deeper to get that validation that I could grasp onto, that I could go out and share when I started to share it with people, that I knew what I was talking about. So again, you don't have to be an expert. Point people to the right direction, utilize the tools. That's the whole thing, is utilize the tools. Everybody can build this business. You just point them to Start X39. They can take a shallow look, or they can take a deep dive into there, and it just validates and backs up everything that we're talking about. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Okay, and how to wear the X39. I talked about it a little bit earlier. You wear the patch 12 hours on, 12 hours off. There's a reason why they say that. I tell people, put the patch on in the morning when you get up, when you brush your teeth. Take the patch off at night when you brush your teeth. Now let's hope and let's assume everybody's brushing their teeth. Okay, let's go with that. But anyway, so it doesn't have to be exactly 12 hours, but that's kind of the rough estimate. But you need a period of time off the patch, because the body starts to get used to that signal and it starts to be less effective. So you need that reset time, something they call attenuation. The body gets used to that signal. So you need that time off to let the body kind of reset. And then you put the patch back on, and it's more active, more effective, and more efficient when you take that little break. And then, so what we do is we wear one patch at a time. One of the things that I really try to stress is that you hydrate very well, because one of the things of the patch is that it's a detox. It basically detoxes your body. So some people majority of the people don't have any issues. I didn't have any issues. Majority of the people I share with don't have any issues. But I've heard instances where people get a minor headache, or they get a little tired. One of the things is make sure you're hydrating. Hydration will help flush the toxins out of your body. But the whole thing is just get over the hump. If you've ever done a detox, try to do a detox, you just got to get over the hump. There's glory on the other side. There's more energy. You just feel more vibrant, lively. You just got to get through that time period. And it's a short period. It's nothing bad. But actually, go back for a second, you can. But one of the things about that is that because our body is trying to detox, one of the other things that I've actually seen is that some people get a little skin rash. Understand that our skin is our biggest detox organ in our body. So sometimes you'll get that little skin rash. Again, just stay hydrated, get over the hump. and you're going to be much better. One of the things that I do say, if some people are having some of those issues with a little bit of headache, a little bit of lethargy or tiredness, start off in the first couple of weeks, wear the patch at night, and then take it off during the day. We'll do that for a couple of weeks, and then start wearing it during the day. Because when you're sleeping, you don't care. You're not going to have a headache. You're not going to experience a headache. You're sleeping anyway, so you're not going to feel the tiredness. Just do that for a couple of weeks or a week or whatever. Get over that hump, and then start wearing it during the day and get on that regular cycle of on in the morning, off in the evening. And again, be sure to hydrate. Get over the hump. You're going to be much better on the other side. Now we can go to the next slide. So this is some of the patch testimonies. We talked about enhancing healing properties. We see tightness of the skin down there, increasing hair growth. Some of the things I recently was shared with him. I talked about my dad's phlebitis. I have a close friend that it was a diabetic, type 1 diabetic for 55 years. He's been a type 1 diabetic. He's struggled with blood sugar issues. He struggled with cholesterol issues. He's had diabetic retinopathy. He lost vision in one eye. His other eye was declining in vision. Introduced him to the X39, and he started wearing the X39. And about 2.5 months after consistently wearing the X39, he went back to his optometrist and he got his vision checked. And his optometrist was like, "What are you doing? What's going on?" He's all, "Why?" He goes, "Your vision has been declining for the last 55 years in your only visible eye, the only eye that works. It's been declining over the last 55 years. Your vision just improved in the last 3 months. What the heck are you doing? What's going on?" Because in a type 1 diabetic, vision does not increase in a type 1 diabetic when the other eye has already gone blind. And he's all I've done is wear this stem cell activation patch. And he goes, whatever you're doing, continue to do it. And then the same gentleman went to his medical doctor, and they did a full blood panel workup. And the doc came back and he's all, "What's going on?" He's all, "Why? What's happening?" He's all, "Your cholesterol level, we've been struggling, getting your cholesterol level down. Your cholesterol level's down. Your blood pressure's down. Your blood sugars are balancing out a little bit more. What's going on?" He's all, "I just started wearing this patch." He's all, "Wow." He goes, "I've never seen anything like it. I don't even know what's going on, but whatever it is, continue to use it. Just stay with it." And again, I talked about my father's phlebitis. He went to his cardiologist, and he went in to the cardiologist about a month ago now, and he went in, and the cardiologist, again, he did a full blood panel, started do the workup, his exam, and he's all, "What's happening?" He goes, "I remember last time I got notes here, your blood pressure was real high. Your blood pressure's come down. Your cholesterol levels have come down. And I made a specific note about your right leg was swollen with phlebitis, with they were worried about clotting and different things going on in there. I'm looking at your right leg now. He's wearing shorts to the visit. I'm looking at your right leg now. It's the same size as your other one. You don't have all the swelling. What's happening? What'd you do? What are you doing different?" He's all, "I don't know much about it. My son gave me this patch, something about stem cell activation. I have no idea what it is. He just told me to wear it." He's all, "Whatever it is, continue to wear it." He goes, "But one thing, make sure you bring me some information on that, because I'm seriously interested in what this is about, because I've never seen any technology, anything like this. So if it makes that big an impact, we need to know about it." So, in an instance like that, when you start to catch people's attention, even physicians, that's pretty dramatic. You're making an impact in something visible in people's life, and something that is quantitative. I always say documentation beats conversation. When people can see it on blood work and different things, that just gives you validation to go out and bless more people. That gives you the confidence that you're doing the right thing for the right reasons. In that, and this is not only, I've been able to help it with a lot of people with rotator cuff issues, with sciatica issues, things that I see on a regular basis. We've been able to help people with this particular product. So it's always been a blessing in my practice, because it's helping. It's another tool in my tool belt to be able to reach out and help people, and that's what we're in healthcare for, is to help people to live a better, more productive life. And so when it comes down to it, when we're looking at the product and the company and what we're able to do, is what is most important in your life. Obviously, your health your health and wellness has got to be, one of the top things, because you can have money, you can have everything, but if you don't have health and wellness, how are you going to enjoy it anyway? You're not going to be able to spend time with your family. So first you got to get your health right, everything. But think about the things that we, through COVID and everything, a lot of people shrunk their goals and aspirations down to just to survive, just to get by, to make ends meet. There's been, increase in cost of everything, and a lot of times decrease in revenue. So we have something to bridge that gap now. We have something to go out and bless people financially. It's not about everybody getting the material things, but what about helping the single parent just make ends meet? What about helping, the single parent, somebody or a family who has a kid going into college, to try to pay that college instead of going into debt? I mean, that's close to home to me. I just had my daughter just graduated from college. Fortunately, she was able to get through college without debt, but my son is going into college. So that's another thing. I don't want him coming out with a lot of debt. So I want to be able to pay that college fund and not have to struggle about that. I don't want him to have struggle, but my goal is to go out and help other people do the same thing. Whether it's getting transportation to get your kids to and from school, whatever it is, there's something out there. This company can meet those needs and bridge that gap. So we're excited about that. The potential of the stem cell industry is huge. I mean, you just have to look in anything, the medical community, because they're pushing stem cell procedures left and right. They've done a great job of promoting stem cell, the benefits of stem cell. We have a safe, non-invasive, effective, affordable way to activate our own body stem cell. So it's a huge industry out there, but we can participate in that industry. Understand, as a chiropractor, I cannot give injections. I personally cannot give injections. I can employ somebody to give those injections and maybe get into that industry. But again, that's another overhead cost. But with this, I can go out and bless people and activate, their own stem cells and get their body going for a fraction of the cost. And I can show people how to start their own business and do the same thing. That's the beauty of it, is that we can go out and bless many, not just the few that come to the office. I love this industry and the fact of that, because as a chiropractor, I can't treat people across the country and bless people across the country. I can only do it in my community unless I start to franchise out and little thing. But this particular business is kind of like creating mini franchises. And here we have the same, kind of on that concept, is the compensation plan, is that there's a referral program that the company has, meaning that when you start to basically create little franchises across the country, people start their own business center and start to share it out. Just by creating a team, introducing 4 people, 2 people left, 2 people right, you start that's the foundational business side of it, or starting your distribution company. That's a position they call manager now. When you introduce them to a silver pack or above, you're right there at the first foundational position called a manager. Understand, just doing that, you can make enough to to make a car payment on a weekly basis just by doing that. But understand, you can make far greater than that. You could make a significant more amount on a weekly basis by starting to share that. It just depends on to what extent you want to do. And the company even goes to a step further by identifying leaders in your team. When you start to help produce leadership and to start to help produce bigger distribution channels, the company rewards you from that. Rewards you for doing that, to helping people hit higher levels, to help people. It's all about taking your eyes off yourself and helping others in this. And the company rewards you for doing that and going out and blessing other people. Okay, let's go ahead to the next one. And so there's let's actually go to the next one too. We have a bunch of marketing material, but one of the things that I love about this, again, is that you do not have to be the expert. You don't have to know a lot about building. You just need to understand how to follow the blueprint, how to follow the game plan, the playbook. And that's what build331.com is all about, is that when you get started, you may not know what to do. When I first got into the industry, I had no idea what to do. And at that time, we probably didn't even have a playbook to follow. And so we kind of threw spaghetti against the wall and saw what stuck. Well, Onyx Cole team, Stephen, Gina Merritt, they've produced this build331.com, and it's the one-stop shop, the blueprint on how to build your business. So you plug and play. You go to this site and step-by-step way on how to get your business up and going. And then you introduce your newest person that you've introduced, that you've brought into the company, that you've introduced the X39 to. You bring your newest person and introduce them to 331. Again, you don't have to be the expert. So you can literally start to build a team. You can earn while you learn. You can start to build your team and start to create revenue by building a team when you're just getting started. That's way more effective than going to school. For me, I had to go 8 years to school before I ever generated a dime. But and I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in that education. But in a business like this, you can actually earn what you learn by plug and play into the system of the 331, build331.com. So the time is now to make your move. Are you serious about your dream? What other options, really, truly, what other options are there for you out there? I mean, there's a lot of people now. I mean, in this day and age, you literally almost have to have 2 incomes in a family to make ends meet or to do anything, significant, because it's so harder. It's so much harder to get by. So how do we go out? Most people can't go out and get a second and third job, but we have something that we can build in the nooks and cranny. I love how Onyx Cole talks about it. You can build this in the nooks and cranny around to what you're already doing. Jim Rohn talks about your 9 to 5 pays your bills, but your side gig, your side hustle, it starts to build your dreams, goals, and aspirations. That builds your fortune. So, I mean, how do we really get to be financially free? How do we go out and bless others? And this is a unique opportunity. So the first way is you have to take action. You have to get the product in your hands. You have to start utilizing the product. So what we have here is we have the order form. Now there's different packages. You get in where you fit in, but I would say if you really have aspirations of building a team and building a revenue stream, you got to get into the gold level or above, because that's going to give you enough product, if you have your spouse or a loved one in there. I mean, the first thing, if you don't want to get out and just get the product for yourself and not bless anyone else in your family, you don't want your wife hobbling around or your husband hobbling around the house, and you're feeling great and vibrant. That wouldn't be very good. There'd be some problems there. But so you literally got to get enough for your family, but then you got to get enough to be able to share it with. What I found out when I got started is that the more people I put patches on, the more testimonies I got, the bigger my confidence grew, the bigger validation I had that I was doing the right things for the right reasons. And that builds your shield of armor, your confidence to go out and bless more people, to go out and talk to more people. So you need to get the right package that fits your financial, but fits your goals and aspirations and what you're trying to accomplish in this. So there's the bronze level 1 sleeve. There's the silver is 3 sleeves, where you get a discount. You get a little bit of discount. The bigger package that you get, the gold level, you get 5 sleeves, and then you get 80. You get another sleeve that's of $80 value for free. But the more sleeves the bigger package you get, the more sleeves you get. At the cheaper the cost. So you basically get started. But the thing is, you got to take action to get moving, to start to bless other people. Okay. Let's go ahead. Next one. And so the one thing I really want to stress here is you got to get to this as a convention. It's coming up August 18th and 19th in Tampa, Florida. This is something, if you have aspirations to build a business, to bless other people, you have to get to this. I mean, I talked about as a chiropractor, I had to go to school for 8 years. If in any occupation, you have to get some type of training to be successful in that occupation, no matter what it is. You have to go through some form of training to get that skill set to do what you need to do. That's what this convention is about. That is that you have to learn a skill set to be able to go out and bless others. So you have to you have to be there to be in the mix of it. And I kind of equate it to if you ever went to a sporting event or a concert. Now you could, like let's say the NBA finals just got done going. Now, would it be more exciting to be at the NBA finals on the sidelines or in the seats in the stadium, right there next to the courtside. I'm trying to spit it out, courtside, or to watch it at home. Courtside is definitely more better. You can feel the vibration, you can feel the enthusiasm, you can feel it, you could just, you're into it, and you can feel the, the intensity there. It's not the same when you're at home watching it on your couch. It's just not the same. You can't think at a concert, when you're at the concert and you can feel the beat of the music, it's not the same as when you're watching it at home, regardless of the stereo system you have. You've got to be in the seats. And a lot of times that's being in the seats is when it goes from your head to your heart. That's where the thing where you get that confidence to go out and make a difference. The other thing it's being there is that you start to build that unity, that camaraderie with the team. But a lot of times it's the meeting after the meeting. It's those little nuggets that you get on the sideline when you get around your group, when you get around the leadership. And you can't do that from the couch or the seat in your recliner at home, whether you're watching it or not. You don't get those little nuggets that make the big impact that can change the volume, the intensity on what you're trying to accomplish with the X39. So anyway, talking about plugging into events, this is another event coming up this Wednesday in West Palm Beach, Florida. If you're in the region, you got to get to this thing. I tell my team is you got to get close to the fire. You got to be close to the fire because again, that helps the validation, that helps your confidence. You hear the personal testimonies, to see the people. It's kind of like it's kind of like being, in a campfire. If you get one of those coals, that when you're close in the fire, all those coals are steaming hot, ready, hot, burning. You get one of those coals and you throw it off to the side, or it flips off to the side. It cools off. The longer it's out there, the cooler it gets. You can't hardly rekindle that thing. No matter you bring it back in, it takes a while to rekindle that, or it never reignites. But when you stay close to the fire, that coal, that intensity, you stay hot, you stay in the mix. So you got to, plug into the vents. And so again, we have Devin and Sarah Robinson. I mean, they've been in the industry for a very long time. They know how to bring the information. They know how to train people, and they know how to deliver the message. They're going to be doing a Friday training, the lunchtime training, the kind of the condensed version, but all the nuggets, all the meat to help you share with people the X39 and the potential of where we're headed with this. So definitely plug into there's a lot of different Zooms that are available to plug into. Again, utilize the Zooms because you don't have to be the expert. You plug them into the system, plug and play. This is something that's really exciting. And it's the global upgrade bonus that just started today. So when people are out there, some people may be hemming and hawing about getting to This Is It convention because they may not have the finances. Well, right here is something to change that right now, is that you can actually not only introduce somebody, get somebody signed up to a gold level or above, and you start to get additional benefits, additional bonuses. But even people already in your team, if you can upgrade them to the next level, to the gold level, to whatever level they are, there's different bonuses. You get money in your pocket. That could be the difference. This is a game changer to offset those costs, those expenses that people are using as excuses to get to This Is It convention. Right here in the making, they put it out here for you. So this is and these are bonuses above and beyond the bonuses that are already there. So take advantage of this. Go out. I've been sharing with my team how to upgrade people. Maybe they started at a lower level, the bronze thing. If you upgrade them, as you upgrade them, they're getting product at a cheaper cost, and they're getting free product. Everybody wants free. So they've got their foot wet. They've sampled dip their toe in the water, maybe at a lower level, but now they're committed to getting more product. Upgrade them, and everybody likes something, at a cheaper cost. So that's an incentive to get them to upgrade and take action and do that now, so you can actually get some of those bonus and put them in play, so you can get to This Is It convention on August 18th and 19th, because it's not too late. I've actually in the past signed people up a day before a convention started and got them to the convention. And it was the difference in them having success or not. And I've seen teams explode by being at This Is It convention, or being at a convention, because it was the difference. It's a difference that took me from not understanding the industry to understanding and taking it to heart and running with it. So getting to the This Is It convention is significant, and being in the seats is important to being there. The Quantum Field weekly events, again, get people close to the fire, get them plugged in. We have a lot of different opportunities. You don't have to be the expert. You just need to plug them into the system. Let somebody else do the work for you. Let them explain the opportunity and get them into this, and feel the energy when they are able to look on and see, that there's hundreds of people plugged into the Zoom. They're like, oh, this is not, 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people that are interested. This is across the country. This is steadily growing and expanding into different countries and regions, international markets. We can bless a lot of people. Okay. And then this is, the QR codes to being plugged in and into the group, so that you're getting all the information and being tuned in to everything that's going on. I love this, the testimonies and different things, because a lot of times it's something, the more testimonies you see, the more confidence you get. And not that I want to go out and treat a lot of different issues, but it just brings that confidence level of I can touch a lot more people. I don't have a vision like this. I have a vision like this. When I'm plugged into everything. And that's the thing, is that being plugged in is important. Okay, so go ahead, next slide, please. All right, so hopefully I was close to being on time. Oh yeah, I'm actually doing all right here. So anyway, Monday motivation message, that's what's gonna follow up. So anyway, with that, I know this is the end of the Zoom, is take action. Whoever introduced you, get back to the person who invited you to this Zoom. Get in where you fit in, find that package that fits your financial needs or the goals and aspirations that you want to achieve with that, and get moving. There's something to first movers advantage. The sooner you get locked in, the better, because as other people are getting introduced, they could essentially fall into your team, and you can make a big impact with that, and bless a lot of people. So take action, get moving, get your product in hand, get them on you, start wearing them, utilizing the product. Nothing's going to change unless you change. So you got to take action. That's the biggest thing. So anyway, with that, thank you for jumping on. We're going to go into the Monday motivation in just a few seconds here. We're going to scroll through some of the slides here. Let's actually go back to Monday motivation. Okay. All right. So anyway, I want to be respectful of everybody's time. So if you're on here, you can stay on here. If you need to get off, go ahead and jump off. But again, my name is Dr. Tony Smith. I'm a doctor of chiropractic. Been in practice for 30 years in the Lancaster, Palmdale, California region, in the what they call the high desert above Los Angeles. I'm here to talk about the Monday motivation. And when I get on, a lot of people, the first thing people ask me is that, how do you introduce the X39 to a practitioner or to my doctor? So let's be realistic. Everybody wants to go out and get their doctor. A lot of times it's going to be very difficult to get to a doctor. I mean, our front staff and our front desk is trained not to let the general public try to sell us. You don't understand how many people, how many emails, calls, people come to my office daily trying to sell me something or show me something. If I stopped and listened and participated with everybody that came in, I would never get any work done. I couldn't treat any patients. So honestly, it's going to be very hard to get through the front desk to get to a doctor. You basically need to have a relationship with, first off, it's nice to have a relationship with a doctor. Okay, that's going to be your biggest thing. But to get kind of, if you had a relationship with a doctor, one of the first things I would say is that, hey, if I could show you a way to increase your revenue without increasing your overhead or your staff, would you give me a few minutes to show you what I've been introduced to? Something that's impacting a lot of people. Now, that's something that if you have that relationship and you can talk directly with the doctor, that could be something that could open the eyes to get them going. The other way to do it is build a relationship with somebody in the office. Understand this industry is built off relationships. That's where people, they interact with you and they build confidence and they respect your opinions. So build a relationship with somebody in the office, and that could be instrumental in getting your foot in the door to talk to the doctor. Or you could actually get that person who's in the office, maybe an office manager or somebody in there, somebody that has respect with the doctor or from the doctor. That could be something that could get your foot in the door to get them to listen to and share it with. For me personally, anytime I've ever been introduced to, or somebody's had the chance to introduce me to network marketing, or I've been able to get started in a company, was off a personal relationship. It was somebody that I knew and I respected, that took the time enough to listen to them. That's how I got into this company, is that I respected the person who brought it to me. And so I took the time to listen to it. And so, that was the groundbreaking opportunity. In past instances, the same thing. It was somebody who I respected. It was actually somebody in the office who I respected, who brought it to me. And so that's how I was able to get introduced into the industry. But again, it was built off relationships. But one of the things that I want to talk about is that, in the time, realistically, doctors are going to be very, they want to dig into all the science and nutrition or whatever. They want to dig into the nooks and cranny of it. So it may take you 2, 3, 4, or 5 months to actually get a doctor signed up in a company, even if you had that personal relationship. Understand, in that meantime, you could actually sponsor 20 left and 20 right and build a team, and you're on your way to senior presidential director before you could get one doctor in, get him started. And understand, I talked about before, maybe somebody in those 20 left and 20 right already has a relationship with a doctor. Most likely, that's where your doctor in your business is going to come from, is when you start to build a team, you're 20 left and 20 right, somebody else has a personal relationship. It's not what you know, it's what other people know. The 6 degrees of separation, we all end up knowing each other, but it's somewhere down the line, somebody knows somebody who knows a doctor, and they end up in your business. And there's your credibility and validation, because they're in your business, but it's not necessarily that you spent that time doing it. So one of the things is, I say, go out and be active. If you have a personal relationship, share it, but don't spend all your energy there, because in the meantime, you could build a huge team by the time it took to get one doctor. And I'll be real, most doctors, how many doctors in the company already do you see building huge businesses? Most doctors aren't building huge businesses because they're too analytical. They don't understand networking. That's why 18 years of LifeWave were in the hands of practitioners. The company was doing not even a fraction of what it's doing now. It was because practitioners didn't know how to network. It wasn't until networkers came into the business that they brought it to the masses. So again, go out and touch other people's lives, and those relationships will lead you to doctors. And again, once you get a doctor, once you get in a doctor, you're going to have to show them how to build a network anyway. You're going to show them how to do something. So it's a very difficult. I know everybody wants a doctor in their business, but it's not going to bring you to senior. Most likely, it's not going to bring you to senior presidential director. It's sponsoring the general person who's excited about what it's done for them, excited about the opportunity to bless other people, that want to make a difference in people's lives. That's when it's going to help you build a huge business. So go out and do that. I had a couple notes here. I kind of already talked about everything. I guess I kind of touched on everything that I wanted to, because I kind of touched in the other part about making sure you get to this as a convention. I can't stress that enough, is getting to that convention, because of the fact, personally for me, and I'll be honest, I went kicking and screaming to my first convention because I didn't understand the possibilities. I didn't understand what the business was about. And I'm like, I understand the product. Yeah, that's all I need. But it wasn't until I got to the convention and got in the seats that I saw the bigger picture. I saw the potential of where this could take, where this company could take it, where I could actually generate money outside of the office when the lights are off and the doors are closed. Because in most doctors' practices, they do not generate income when the lights are off and the doors are closed, but they're still paying overhead, but they're not generating income. In this type of business, you're generating income on a residual basis. It comes, I'd love to treat a patient one time and continue to get paid for months and years on end, but it doesn't happen. In this business, I can introduce somebody, get them up and going. They're utilizing the product for months and months and years, but also introducing other people that starts to create that revenue stream, that residual income because of volume that's created through the masses. That is how you create opportunity. That is how you create something where you create what they talk about walk away income. And so as doctors, a lot of times it's hard to walk away. That's why you see doctors working into their older ages, because they don't know how to get away from the practice unless they start hiring other doctors. Again, that becomes overhead, workman's comp, tons of other revenue and liability issues, and a lot of stress and things. So in a business like this is that it's a huge opportunity. But again, getting people, I kind of went off on a tangent, but I was trying to prove my point, is I didn't see that vision, that my mind didn't open enough till I got to a convention. Even though I went kicking and screaming, and when I got into the convention, it was like, aha moment. And so again, do whatever you can. Not just you come to the convention, but you need to bring your team to the convention, because one of my mentors way back always said, you always have to have representation from each of your legs and bring as many people. We build 2 legs. You need to have representation from both of your legs, because you don't want one leg growing and one leg stagnant. You want to build everyone. So the whole thing is, don't come yourself, bring an army, bring the masses with you, because when everybody gets on the same page, everybody's going to run. They're not going to walk. And you want everybody running in your team, because you're going to bless a lot more people and you're going to make a bigger impact in people's lives. So with that, I want to thank everybody for getting on. I hope this has been beneficial, and I hope we can, touch a lot of lives. Thank you very much. Blessings, and have a great evening.